Okay, I am recording this video to describe, explain what I've learned from my third driving driving lesson. Number one, I have learned that modern cars wear out faster than old cars because of technology. That's what I've been told. Now, what would I do to actually, when I asked the driver what exactly makes the newer cars run out faster, he said technology. When I asked what type of technology, he mentioned words which I wasn't aware of, and I can't recall the exact words he mentioned. The other things I have learned are that you have to put your gear, the gear pedal, I think the name is, for the thing that switches the gears. You put the gear on neutral and then you press the handbrake up when you're near the traffic light. So let me summarize in a clearer way. When you're at the traffic light and there's the red light, you stop the car. Not stop the car. The engine is still running, but you put the gear on neutral. You pull up the handbrake, and then when the light turns orange, you you press on the clutch pedal, then you switch the gear to number one, then you pull down your handbrake, and you can start going once it's green. What I was doing beforehand, I was leaving the gear on one, then pressing fully on the clutch pedal, leaving the handbrake as it is, because with my reasoning I was doing that because all I have to do is press on one thing. All I have to do is press on the clutch instead of having to do the handbrake and gear on neutral. Then I would be faster even when I go, even when after the light turns orange and then I need to accelerate and I need to increase speed to move the car. When I move the car, which increases speed. And what he told me is you have the wrong mindset, because he said if you do that, it would wear out the clutch bearing. I think that's what he meant. So let me search clutch. When you press your clutch pedal, the bearing pushes on the pressure plate springs. This action temporarily disconnects the engine from the transmission. Does the clutch bearing degrade? if you actually, how does the clutch bearing degrade? I think that makes more sense. How does the clutch bearing degrade? A clutch bearing, often called a throwout bearing, degrades through friction, heat, and loss of lubrication. When you press the clutch pedal, this bearing pushes against the spinning metal fingers of the clutch pressure plate. To separate the transmission from the engine, constant pressure and spinning causes the internal grease to dry out, leading to metal grinding and eventual bearing failure. Because we all know, because the flywheel is spinning because it's connected to the engine, and the engine is spinning because your car is on, the key is turned on. Therefore, it's always spinning, and what you're saying is when you press on the clutch, it has to have pressure. I should probably insert this into the resting your foot on the pedal while driving keeps the bearing consistently engaged and spinning. Heavy traffic forces frequent shifting, resulting in constant load and heat of the bearing. Clutch dust. What question should I ask? Question should I be asking? What am I even supposed to be learning to know what I need to do? I think I'm going to end it over there. What else did I learn? I learned, this wasn't during the lesson, but I learned this the day before the lesson. I was on a hill, and I pressed when you stop on the hill, you press on the brake and you leave your clutch pedal halfway, and when it's halfway, that means I think it might mean that it's slightly connected to the clutch pedal or friction plate, whatever its proper term is connected to slightly connected to the flywheel, but not fully. Or maybe it is. Actually, it would be fully connected if your clutch is fully out. Therefore, I don't know the exact mechanism that happens when it's semi-touching. I think that's all. I'm not sure if that was even helpful. Should I create a structure before uploading a video? I need to be better at communicating what my brain is visualizing and thinking. Okay, I'm going to end it over here, and videos I would upload would consist of the next lesson and any future and the future plans that I have. That's it.